Hello, welcome to Bob DeGree's Audio Stories. It's good to see you again. I am back in the fine state of Vermont. Had a great time in Florida, not Florida, California, and all the other states getting there because I drove obviously across the whole place. It was amazing. Saw and learned things that I never thought I would see or learn about. Good, both good, bad, and indifferent. Run into a lot of people who had a lot of good in their heart, and they were looking for a message. And seems like the message that is provided in the upcoming book, The Planted Seed, is a message that seems to really resonate with people. So I'm in hopes that people get the message that my mom wanted to hear, or my mom wanted to have given, and I hope I did a good enough job writing it so that people will feel it and maybe make a difference. Then that'd be great. Anyways, as you saw in the last video, I got to stay in this really beautiful house in a place called Muir Beach, California. And it was stunning in every way possible. If I could ever imagine a place so heavenly, it was just beyond my wildest imagination. And I was very fortunate because I got a great deal on it because it wasn't rented, and it was the only 2 nights that were open. And anyways, it was just fortune of timing. Good fortune of good timing was critical. So I couldn't be there and not write a story, kind of with that embedded in the story. So this is a song called Sunshine, and I hope you like it. The waves crashing against the shore were loud enough to drown out the crackle of the wood burning in the fireplace. Johnny had never imagined he'd be fortunate enough to relax in such a home like this. Sitting on a glassed-in deck 50 feet above the lapping tides, he sipped his coffee and pondered what lay ahead. The journey that brought him here felt like a dream, or perhaps just an illusion. Johnny came from Ireland and was the son of a small farmer. The farm survived only through grueling 16-hour days, the family working tirelessly just to stay one step ahead and keep the wolves from the door. He had always been a loyal son, the kind who would never stray from family or friends, even at his own expense. At 28, one fateful night changed everything. A faulty electrical outlet started a fire in the family home, claiming the lives of both of his parents. A night where fate cursed his clan by destroying all that they had built, including the nest egg of savings kept in a bright green gallon-sized canister in a closet by the kitchen. Johnny was now homeless and penniless. He had only had a few dollars in the pants that he had escaped the house in. Emotionally distraught, he had lost the only anchors he had ever known. Everything in his life had been drained of any value, and with no insurance on the farm, his path forward was void of purpose and meaning. All he had for motivation to move forward was the memory of love, loyalty, and family. The next few days and months were full of sadness and desperation. He moved from one town to another as a hired hand, as that was the only skill he had owned. The only time Johnny smiled was when he thought of the words that his dad shared with him. If you have to work hard, and always keep a smile on your face and laughter in your heart. It will help the toil be more tolerable. These words and many others kept his soul from sinking deep enough to drown him in the waves of life. that at that point it seemed like they may overwhelm him and carry him out to the deep, dark sea of Altheos. Every day was a struggle to keep his soul in this realm, even when the most powerful desire he had was to join his Ma and Da. One step in front of the other. You can do it. Then he woke up, finding himself alone, sitting beneath a tree at the edge of a cliff. Below him stretched the vaunted ocean, an end to his challenges, perhaps. The waves and jagged rocks seemed inviting, yet he chose to follow the guidance of the words in his dream. He stood up and walked in the opposite direction, the one that brought him here, to this beautiful house in California, beside the water that could mark either the ending or a new beginning. After that fateful day on the cliff, Johnny decided he needed to find a new and meaningful path for his life. One that would be the engine that would move his existence forward. After all this time with his life's vehicle in reverse, it was time to put it in drive. With his mind focused on tomorrow instead of the heartache of yesterday, he could be seen skipping down the street, singing a song from his childhood. He was determined to reach a place that would instill pride in his family, pride in the family that were looking down on him from Na Plas. Moments in this life are precious and time slips by so fast. Circumstances come up and can shorten that time considerably. Johnny was fully aware of this. One day, walking down Main Street, he was singing a version of Wild Rover that his Da would sing after a pint or two. A young woman stopped him and commented on how beautiful his voice was. Johnny's face turned bright pink with embarrassment, but he respectfully said, "Thank you." Then she offered to buy him a pint. Johnny refused at first, knowing that he had little self-worth to share with such a kind soul. She then said, "My name is Sarah, and I'd like to hear your story and find out how you sing the old songs so well." Again, Johnny, being polite and humble, said, "That was kind of you to say, but I'm really not much of a singer, Sarah. Blessings to you, my friend." As he started to walk away, a voice in his head told him to turn around and share himself with this person. "You have value." Wow, Johnny thought. That voice sounded familiar, just like the one by the tree on the cliff. He turned back, and for the first time he noticed Sarah's blazing red locks and the striking warmth of her bright blue eyes. Johnny accepted her offer and held the door for her as they walked in the pub. The self-doubt that had embedded itself in the years since the fire created a passiveness that challenged Johnny to believe in himself. If only outwardly, if he didn't, no one would give him a chance, and he might just as well have jumped off the cliff when he had the chance. Sarah broke the fragile ice first. This was her first time in Dublin, and she shared some stories of her life, to which Johnny seemed to think she was more blessed than he. As she spun her yarn, Johnny's wall, which he had once put up to protect his vulnerable feelings, started to come down, brick by brick. It was a deliberate disassembly, slow and marked by a few pauses that indicated Johnny's lingering lack of trust in the fate that he had once experienced. Then, at a moment of awkwardness in their conversation, the band at the pub launched into a version of a song that Johnny had heard more times in his life than most. It was his parents' favorite. Denny boy, the pipes are calling. Johnny, without hesitation, started singing, figuring it was better than telling Sarah his story. He sung it so beautifully that the band stopped suddenly, yet Johnny kept singing. People just got quiet and listened to the smooth, meaningful way that Johnny put his soul into the lyrics. There were a lot of tears rolling down folks' cheeks, both blokes and lass alike. In Johnny's mind, he was singing it to his ma, returning the favor, as when she was alive, she would sing it to him often. Eventually, others joined in, and the final voice was an angelic, soft, soulful voice that started singing in harmony with Johnny. As the song reached its final note, Sarah kissed him, and he felt like all the storms that he had in his life had been turned into rainbows and sunshine. The coffee tasted good, looking over the glassed-in deck where the waves crashed against the rocks, ones that he considered killing himself on. This made Johnny smile, knowing that the water in some way always had a part in his life. Whether it was the liquid that hit the rocks that he almost impaled himself on, or the pellets of water that changed rain into rainbows with the help of sunshine. His sunshine. Sarah. We all need a little more sunshine in our lives, don't we? The end. Or perhaps a new beginning. That was Sunshine. I hope you liked it. We could all use a little more sunshine in our lives, especially when there's a lot of darkness around. Just remember that there's always sunshine out there, and it doesn't always come in the form of sun. It can be somebody smiling at you, somebody saying something encouraging, somebody helping you laugh. Maybe it's just holding hands and jumping into a mud puddle, or rolling down a hill, full body, lying down and rolling down a hill together and just enjoying the moments of life. Anyways, darkness is going to come. That's a guarantee. It's how this life works. But it's what we can see through the darkness that makes us special. And we all have that. We all have that inside of us. Not to get too preachy, so I'll just stop there. Again, please, it would do my heart a world of good if you could subscribe. Costs you nothing. There's no commitment, no nothing. It helps me. And also, when you're watching YouTube, if you want to watch my stuff, it just ends up in your subscription list, so it's just easier for you to find. I appreciate every one of you that stop and listen to my stories. It really means a lot. It keeps me writing, keeps my mind active as I get old. My sister asked me, how do you write all these stories? And I said, well, gratefully, as I've aged, I've lost a lot of things, but the one thing I haven't lost is my imagination. So I'm grateful for that. Anyways, we will see you next Friday, and I hope life treats you well in the week ahead. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.